Okay, so I'm on part 6 of this campervan build at the moment, VWT4, and I'm doing a sort of video on its own. I'm not sponsored in any way, but when I see good kit, I point it out. This is off Clearcut Designs, and it's a kit for a campervan table. Right, let's open that up. So in with the kits, my invoice, where I'm happy to give this product a shout out because it's good kit. You get the returns information there, you got guides there that you do online. So you get with this kit the backing alloy rail, really nice, doesn't stand out too much, especially with the really nice flush fitting end pieces there. You've got the centerpiece there if needed, and the two hangers clip over, and obviously your table comes away from that bag of screws, and that's the leg that folds down. The table obviously goes there, and this leg will fold up and down when needed, and this is fully adjustable, and you've got the securing nut there to height adjust the table, obviously because each kitchen will be different heights to the rail. So the rail itself can be cut down to any length. Looking at the kitchen I've made, it will be roughly that length there, and the table then can be adjusted front or back from that. Good bit of kit. So what I'll do now is I'll make the table top up from 18mm ply. I normally do it from 18 or 15, then I'll put the T trim around it, this T trim, and then put the Formica top on. I'll use the same Formica as I've used in the kitchen on this van, and then underneath the DC fix to finish it off. So it looks, yeah, gives a really good finish. So for the top there, I'm just using standard 18mm ply. That's cut to 70 centimeters in length. That will be 70 by 32. Measured it to 30 to start with, wasn't happy with that, so I've come across to 32. And then, yep, so tape measure, straight measure for your lines, pencil, and one from the advanced tooling department. So yeah, anything just to make your edges around there, so I can put the T-trim around, T-trim across here, and then I'll T-trim the back. And where I fit the clamps there, I'll just cut the bottom off so it doesn't snag. Show that in a bit. So okay, cut that, sand it, and glue the top on. Okay, cut this with pretty much anything. What I use, you could use a saw along here, you could even use a saw around there, then sand it. What I use is a circular up until as close as I can get to here, and then a jigsaw around. It's cut out, so now I'll use the jig just to take these corners off. So that's cut and ready, just lightly sanded. Take the edges off. You tend to find when you use sometimes when you use a jig, your angle isn't 100%. Easily done, just sand it off. So I'll use my Formica I've got now. It's nice thin Formica, that's what I've used to colour the kitchen. So I'll cut a piece out of that and get that on the top. You could sand this, varnish, coloured varnish, stain, anything. The DC fix, paint. I'll use the Formica, so I'll cut that now and get that glued onto here. And that's the Formica on. That's a match for the worktop surface that I've got in this van. So I've broke that off, Stanley blade from the underside, break it, you're left with a few edges, sand those off. And now I'll go around with the router halfway and put the 18mm T-trim in, and then build the table up. So that's the routing edge put in way around. I think what I'll do now with this is give that a bit of a sand and get that covered, give it a nice neat finish. Get the back covered, so I'll get the T-trim now, go all the way around from here, round to the other side, cut that at an angle, and then just do the back there. So that's the T-trim. On. Looking good. What I'll do now is put the alloy rail on the top section there. Okay, that's the rail on. You can see there, just get it right to the end. The little end clips clip on, 2 screws in each. Get it level, job done. Not intrusive at all, cracking design. Okay, so it's the leg on the table and the 2 hangers for the rail next. So that's it. The 4 screws on here, again, keep those away from there. If you can see there that you need to be so far away, so keep these normally 10 centimeters away, with sort of 20, 15 in the middle maybe. Cut out the trim there so it sits flat, and the leg, again, you can put that where you like. I normally put it sort of 20 centimeters in the middle. Doesn't need to be measured exactly. So with these, you just press the button, clicks in, and then you can adjust that for height adjustment for the table. So I'll flip that round, put the table on. Yeah, all good. So you can see there, it gives a really nice finish. Simple, long lasting. I've used one of these myself, and you'll probably be replacing the tabletop or the T-trim before the actual mechanism. Lovely. So you can go from, obviously there, on my builds I put a toilet portaloo and a cover over it, so there'll be a seat here, and you can obviously sit over on the main rock and roll bed. So for me, sat here on the rock and roll bed, it's perfect. You can have comfortably two plates, 2 cups off that one desk table, and you can move it forward as well. That's the table fully across, so you could even possibly with a swivel seat on the front there, but yeah, there you go, hooked on. Really good quality. So that's the Clearcut kit that makes up a really nice table. You don't have to use Formica, you could piece of wood, varnished, stain, anything, but that gives a really good professional look. I've used Formica, the same as what I've used on the kitchen sort of work top area there. Yeah, I thought I'd give these guys a shout out. I'm not paid, not sponsored in any way, wherever. I paid for the kit myself. But yeah, if anything for camper vans that I see that I like, I'll definitely give it a shout out, and that is a good bit of kit. So thank you, thanks for watching. Okay, just a bit of added at the end. This is what it would look like when you remove a messy camper van builder. So I'll match that to the worktop there. Now you can see what a lovely bit of kit it is when all of my muck is moved. Right, again, thank you.